Hi, everybody. My name is Roberto. I'm here representing Andamio. Andamio is an initiative by Gimbalabs. For those that don't know, Gimbalabs is a Fund One organization that has been onboarding developers to the Cardano ecosystem for years now successfully through a Plutus PBL. That experience led us to create Andamio. Andamio, we like to call it a education and collaboration system because it's a little bit more than a learning management system. So what Andamio does is integrates a couple of things, right? The first thing it integrates is a PBL-based learning management system, which is mastery-based, which has mastery-based assessments, and it has skill and contribution tracking thanks to smart contracts. Also has treasury management to do rewards and a governance system. So the PBL, the integration of the PBL methodologies for skill and contribution tracking is the focus is to facilitate onboarding for organizations. We've noticed that, first of all, education in traditional context is a little bit not designed for modern problems. PBL methodology focuses on skills like creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration, which we think are skills that are critical for the future, for what we need to do. So we try to integrate PBL into the LMS so that it's a little bit more effective to teach. Then through the reward system, we are hoping to close the loop, shorten the loops from the risk that a learner takes in dedicating time to learning new skills to that reward of not having to wait till the end of the process to get any reward. You not only get skills added to your token identifier, you also get contributions recorded in your token identifier, and you can also get rewarded by the organization that is teaching this thing. So what we're trying to do is create a pipeline that is different from the traditional recruitment process where you go through this filter, which is algorithmically determined, and like LinkedIn just kind of puts these candidates or other platforms like that in front of the human resources department, for example, and from there they can pull. This way the company can just put the problem that they want solved out there in a network, let's say, and just identify different contributors, specific contributors that are actually engaged and motivated to solve those problems. So our budget for this proposal is 450,000 ADA, which pays for over 6 months, 6 months of work. It's around 40.95% of the challenge, and it's 100% open source. And we chose this budget because we identified a couple of needs that we need to do. The project is right now in a beta. We've been working on it for 6 months. It's open source, but we need to do a little bit of beta testing. We need to do lead generation to pretty much put it out in front of more people, more organizations, and more contributors. We need to do implementation and adoption support. Because it is in a beta, we do need organizations and contributors. They do need some assistance to put it together, to understand how it works, to get the most out of it, and to get the most feedback in order for us to improve it as much as possible, to get it to a place where it can be sustainable in the shortest term possible. We wanted to get it to the market.
Time
we
for
wanted
question,
to start.
Anton. Question time, please. It's over time, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Anyone have question, please?
Everybody.
Yeah.
I have a question actually, Roberto. So what is the syllabus itself?
So the syllabus right now, let's say the Plutus PBL, which is like the beta example of the proposal, is an onboarding, building background knowledge, specialization, and contribution. It's a process. That's the process. It's a 4-stage process, and the curriculum is not really like Plutus PBL is not exactly the correct name for this. Let's say it teaches you all the different tools that exist in the Cardano ecosystem. So you start with learning how to use the Cardano CLI to mint a token, for example, or even use the browser to mint a token. And then you use Cardano CLI, for example, to build transactions, to learn how NFTs work, to mint NFTs and those types of things. And then the specialization module, you start to learn to take different tracks, because you don't really have to be only a Plutus Plutus developer. right? You can also be a front-end developer, you can be a project manager, you can be a product manager. So we give people the opportunity to find the track that best fits their skills and their interests. That's the Plutus PBL, but the Andamio itself is built so anyone can build their course. The idea is that any organization can put their course on Andamio and offer it to contributors that might be interested in solving their problems. For example, any DAO could create their own Andamio instance with their course. Catalyst could create their own Andamio instance to onboard reviewers, to onboard proposers, teach them the process, and have them meet mastery-based assessments in order to qualify to contribute as in a certain role.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
It answered my question. Boaz, you had a question. Please open your mic.
Yeah, hello everybody. I have a question. I came when the presentation was ongoing. I would like to know what can be challenges to launch your project. Yeah.
So like any innovation, it's going to be market adoption, right? The thing that we focus on this proposal is, well, two things really. The first is obviously adoption. People need to use it. We need to be aware of things that might need to improve, might need to do better in order for it to be adopted. That's a big focus, and a substantial part of the budget is dedicated to this support, to having someone track, especially in a beta, right? There's definitely going to be a resistance. The other one of the things that we're considering is we need a legal strategy, right? If we're going to go to market, like say in a mainnet, and we're going to use this to pay contributors, to reward contributors for their work, we need to be sure that we are compliant, and also a strategy of where we can launch this first, in order to have the least amount of friction. We are aware that there are other platforms that are doing something not exactly the same, but similar. So we just want to be sure to be covered. So I would say it's adoption and legal.
Last question for me, I think. What language you are using for your LMS, learning management system?
That's actually
PSP or anything that you decided yet?
Oh, like a programming question? Programming
Not the web
language?
server.
How do you mean, like the PBL itself, like the program itself? Or
not the web server platform, so where people log in and delivery the system, the learning management system. You may be like Blackboard, they use Java based, for example.
Our platform uses React, but we try to use make it framework agnostic.
Oh, okay.
It should be able to launch on anyone. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. No more questions from me. Thank you. Appreciate. Really good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto, for the presentation. Now it's time for the next.
Can you stop this,
proposal.
please?
I'm stop sharing.